everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of Boom, the Real Ghostbusters Egon and Boogieman figure set by Mondo. Now, I've been excited about this line. I just recently did the review on Peter Venkman, and I really love that figure. I loved him, and I love Sam Hain. So I'm really excited to see what they do with Egon. So first thing I want to mention is that I do now have a membership program. So for $2 a month, you get a lot of cool extra stuff like blooper reels, behind the scenes, and much more. So without any further ado, roll that intro. So here they are in packaging. The packaging looks just like the Peter Venkman's packaging. So you have the firehouse doors here with the Ghostbuster logo up there. It opens up. All right, you pretty much get a view of the inside of the firehouse. You have Egon here, the small ghost, the Boogieman, and I guess that's going to be his alternate head over there. It's hard to see everything because they put plastic wrap around the figures and everything here, so you really can't see it through this open window, which I understand why they wrap it, but on the same token, for those of us who like to keep things in box, it's hard to display something when you can't even see it. Almost makes the window mute, because what's the point of having the window here? You really can't see what's in it. So, that's the one thing I didn't like about the packaging with these figures, is that they cover up the figure so you can't see them. All right, close it up. Come around to this side. Not a whole lot going on here. You do have your Ghostbusters logo, Egon Spengler, and Boogieman exclusive figure set, and a little bit of Lego underneath. Come around to the back, and like I said, it's just like the Peter Venkman one. So you have the Real Ghostbusters here, everybody involved with making it, this monster ghost here, Slimer, the skull, and the back door to the firehouse. Come around this side, basically the same thing as the other side. All right, you look at the top. It's supposed to be the top of the firehouse. And then underneath, you got your Lego and Skew. So, boom. Without any further ado, let's open it up and see what they're about. So here he is, out of packaging. So far, he's an impressive looking figure. I do like his overall profile. So the first thing we're going to do is go through his points of articulation. So the head does move. All right. Not a whole lot of back and forth movement, but it does definitely move. All right, you got a shoulder joint with a swivel, an elbow joint, and you do have a wrist joint. All right, get these arms up. You do have a joint right here at the hips. All right, with some swivel back and forth. Get them off that stand real quick. You have a thigh joint. All right, a little stiff, but it is there. A knee joint. And you do have an ankle joint. Now there should be, there is a swivel here at the top of the boot. All right. So some of his joints are a little stiff, but they still move pretty well. All right. Well, I got him off of here. He does come with this little stand. It's a clear stand. That works really nice with him. Same like Peter did. He came with the same stand. And he just fits nicely on there. And I like the factor that the stand has 2 pegs for each foot, so it allows them to stand a little bit more solid on there. All right, let's get him to move back just a hair so we can really get a good look at this face sculpt. All right, so now let's get into the finer details. So first off, I love the head sculpt on him. This looks really, really nice. I love the attention to detail to his hair. It's a little bit messy. You got that weird swirl in his hair that he had in the series. Now, the glasses are a separate piece that is molded onto him, so it gives it a more realistic look, opposed to it being all one mold. So I do like that. I like that a lot. All right. So now you get into the rest of them. He has his standard aqua suit with the pink cufflinks and collar. He has some equipment here on the belt. So he has this piece here. Then he has the little hook here, the same that Peter has. All right, you come around to this side here. Nothing really going on underneath, but bring the arm down. You do have your Ghostbuster logo and arm pads. Come around to the back. Not a lot going on there. And this side the same, and back around to the front. So overall, he isn't a bad looking figure. So now we're going to look at all his different accessories. So first off, he comes with an alternate head. Oops. Right here. It's a scared face, mainly for when he looks at Boogie, because it brings back childhood trauma for him. So he does have a sense of fear against this creature. All right. Next up, he comes with two alternate hands. So these are his hands if he was wearing gloves. So you get a black hand here. And one here. All right. Now, to go along with those gloves, you get these cufflinks here. All right. So that's going to be the end of your glove. So that's 1 and 2. All right. Next up, we're going to do the spirit bomb. So this is part of what they use to defeat the Boogieman. All right. In the beginning of the episode, they actually use it to, Peter uses it to threaten Slimer. So that's also a neat little antidote with this thing as well. All right. Next off, you have his PK meter. Now, I love all the detail to this. All the little switches, gears, the computer screen. Now, why I have it here, this does pop up. All right. Open like that. And the prongs do come out. You might have to use a small screwdriver. Oh, shoot. That's the wrong type of screwdriver there. No, that's a Phillips too. Here we go. Flathead. So it looks like you might have to just use a little flathead. Pop those out of there. Actually, this should come up just a hair more. There we go. Now I'm being gentle with this. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. So now, boom. You got those up. Let's take a rotation of this. They put a lot of work into this. I like how all the gears and everything. And of course, these things can go all the way up. So there's a high, spiritual entity around. The PK meter will pick it up. So I really do like how they did this. All right. Next up, we got the trap. All right. Now the same thing with this one as with Peter, that this is a piece of wire. And I'm still afraid that if you play with it too much, eventually it's going to break here or here. So that is an, thing of concern. Now you do have an insert here. All right, that goes into it. Just like how in the cartoon and movies, this piece always comes out. It goes into the storage unit. We'll just pop that right in there for right now. As you see, slides in really nice. No issues with that. Get a good close look at the trap. All right, and then also with the foot pedal here as well. All right, next up is the second part of the trap. And this is it pulling in a ghost. Now this is interesting. Okay, so the ghost that the trap is pulling in is, I guess he's considered the mobster ghost. I think his name was Louie, if I remember right. He was sort of a ripoff off of Scarface, Al Capone. So they have him going into the trap. Now, he was in the episode. He was in the beginning of the episode. But you look over here, he comes with a spare ghost, and that's this guy. Now, he's one of the ghosts from the intro. There's a collage of different ghosts, and he's one of them. The arms move and what have you. But I was thinking, if you have Louis going into the trap, you'd think he would come with the Louis ghost as his small ghost, because, he wasn't a huge ghost. He was, a standard ghost instead of this guy. So it doesn't really make, to me personally, much sense that he comes with this ghost opposed to the Louis one. But that's just my thoughts on that. Next up, you got your proton pack. All right. This looks really nice. I love the attention to detail. So you got a spot here for your neutron wand. And you got the spots here to hook up the trap onto it. And it has this cord here. Now, I don't know why they didn't do a cord like this with the traps. Probably would have worked better. And then now let's get a good look at the wand. All right. And of course, you have this little hook here that will allow it to hook into that little belt piece. All right. And then last but not least, you have the particle thrower stream. All right. So let's see how well all this works with him. All right. So first off, let's do our head swap. All right. That came off pretty easily. No issues. All right. So that head fits on him pretty well. No issues. I'll move this ghost back over here. All right. Get that off. Put this one back on. I like this head a lot better. All right. So next up, we're going to try the PK meter. All right. Let's put this in his hand. All right. So that fits very well in his hands. No issues with that. Let's put that down like this. All right. So now you can have them in the standard form with that. This ghost bomb, I don't know if this is going to fit well in his hand or not. It's a little big, but the fingers do move very easily. All right. So I'm going to try to see if I could fit this in here. All right. Oops. Well, lost his hand over it. All right. So yes, because the fingers are very movable, you can't actually get him to hold the spirit bomb, which is really nice. So you have to move the fingers, and they're very pliable, so they move very easily, so you can have them hold it. Now, the only concern I would have with that is if you have him hold it long enough, it might misshapen your fingers. So that might be a concern. But other than that, it fits in there. All right. Now, for the proton pack. Now, the issue I had with Peter putting this on is keeping these little tabs in. They don't want to stay very well. All right. So, I don't know if that's an issue that they fixed with his or not, because they don't fit in there very tight. Actually, I kind of seem to have had an easier job getting them in on him than I did with Peter. So now let's put the thrower in his hand. All right, open that hand up a little bit. All right, one there. Egon. All right. So the problem is just lining this up to where it all fits together. There we go. So there you go. That fits very well in those hands. No issues. And when you come around to the back here, like I said, it hooks up right there. Let's hook her right in here. Just like that. Actually, they must have made some improvements on this figure posted to Peter. Because for one, with the Peter Venkman figure, it was a lot harder to get this in there. I had to work it for a minute to get it in. But it seems to go in a lot easier for Egon than it did with Peter. The same with these belt straps. They seem to hook in a lot easier on him than I did with Peter. Like Peter's were still popping out. So these might be minor improvements that they made to this figure opposed to Peter. So I do like that. And now the trap, I'll just put it in one hand. All right, so as you can see, the trap fits in a hand, no issues. And now we're going to do the gloves. All right, so pull off his normal hands. Put these O-ring looking things on them. And now for the hands. All right, 1, 2. All right, so those hands fit on very well. No issues. The trap should fit in here pretty well. No, I lost my hand. All right. Whoop. All right, so the trap fits in hand. No issues with that. All right. All right, so I'm having problems keeping that arm on. Might be that this might not be back all the way. There we go. All right. So now you spin them around to the back here. The trap, take this cord, kind of do it like in a circle movement. All right. Or like this. I'm sure somebody else could get this a lot prettier than I do. So the trap hooks on here. This cord is meant the hook on actually here. Let's pull this off of here. Put that on there like that first. And now the trap. There you go. So there you go. You could set it up prettier than I did, but as you see, the trap does work back there. All right. Now let's try the wand in these hands, which shouldn't be any kind of issue. All right. Okay, that hand definitely having some issues with that hand. All right. It actually kind of makes it easier to put this on him. So, all right, that hand now just came out too. All right. Stay on there, buddy. All right, so that one, it's there. All right, so there you go. You can have them hold that one as well with no issues. Now, also with this trap, I almost forgot. All right, come off there. Move this over. Pull this out. Now you can slide him in here. So now you can have the trap sucking him up. All right, with no issues. And also, you can actually keep these hands on here. I think what the problem with these hands are is the factor that I might not have the piece all the way back. Now you can hook PKE meter on here, like so. All right. You can also put good old Louie over there. Also hook this onto here as well. You do have a little hook for that. A little harder to get it on there. Like I said, Peter was kind of an issue too. I think I wanted up hooking it on through the back. Something. Ooh, that's not good. That's a little bent. I didn't like how that just bent, but there you go. So yes, you can hook the particle thrower on there as well, or your neutron wand, whatever terminology you want to use. All right, get this hand on here pretty good. That back on there. All right. Like I said, I think with the hands, it's just a matter of the fact that I might not have the back part of the glove on, you know, all the way where it needs to be. And I think that's why these hands are popping off. All right, so I played around with them for a little bit off camera, and I winded up getting the actual hands on there. So get the beam here, pop that on there just like that. So now you see the beam does work on him with no issues. So other than having some issues with the glove hands, everything seems to work pretty well with this figure. So now here we have the Boogieman. Now this dude looks awesome. I love the overall look to him. But before we get into the figure, I want to show you something real quick. All right, put him down here. So he comes with this really nice stand. I like this. Got a couple points of articulation and it's padded. So if you look inside the prongs, you can see that there's a white pad in there. And that's to protect your figure. So I like that a lot. So let's put him back on his stand with his head. All right. So get him locked in here. All right. And now let's go through his points of articulation. So his head does move. You get a shoulder joint here with a swivel, an elbow joint, and a wrist joint. All right. You don't get, as far as I'm aware, of any kind of body movement. Yes, you do. There is one joint here. Let's take him off the stand. There is a joint right here at the top. So you do get some body movement as well. And you got a thigh joint, a knee joint, a joint right here, and an ankle joint. So he does have some pretty good points of articulation on him. All right, get him back onto his little stand here. Whoops, maybe. All right, close that up on him. All right, and he also has a jaw joint. So the jaw does open slightly, not a lot, but it does move. All right. So now let's get into the details on this guy. This head sculpt's amazing. I love this head sculpt. It looks wicked cool. There's a lot of really, really cool detail to it. All right. Come back around here to this side. The overall look is just terrifying. Just like it's meant to be from the cartoon. All right. Even like when you get into his chin, you got all this little stubble there and what have you. And then you start getting into the body. The body has that, you know, look that he has all the way down to the legs, how he has those hoof legs. All right, you look at him from this side. You can see, I'm going to move the head just slightly over. You can see detailing underneath there. You might have to take a look at that when I swap heads. Now, if you look at the hair is multicolored. So you got dark here, and then it has like light blue highlights, which is really nice. All right. And you come back around here and back to your forward position. So he is an amazing looking figure. Now, he does come with a couple of things. So he has this hand here and this one, because he's got to be metal. All right. And he comes with this alternate head here, where he's like looking at you, screaming. They got drool coming out of the mouth and what have you. I love this head sculpt as well. Now, one thing I did forget to mention when I was doing Egon is that he also comes with these little cutout standy ghosts. They got one here and another one here. They're little honorable mentions. They're cute, but you know, they're not the main focus of these figures, but definitely worth mentioning. All right. So now back to him. So first off, let's swap heads. Ooh, that's on there. All right. That came off. Now, whoa, there goes Pumpkin. Okay. So anyway, all right, so we ran into a problem with this figure. All right, so as you look here, all right, you can see that there's a little tight. All right, so this is a little tight, this joint here. But as you see, it has this little ball joint. Now, when you look at this head, you can see there's a little insert there for the ball joint. Now, this head doesn't have that in there. As you can see, it's a huge hole. So I'm wondering if that's a, you know, unfortunately a production error. So I'm going to have to get a hold of Mondo and ask them about that, see what's going on with that. So unfortunately, that is a major issue to me, because now I can't swap his heads around. All right. And as you can see, it definitely is meant to go in here like this and then go just like that. So I'm going to have to check into him and see what happened with that. Okay, so let's get into my final thoughts with him. So first off, let's talk about Egon. Now, all his joints move pretty well. He is a little bit tight in the thighs. You may want to use heat on that. That's up to you. But they seem to move okay, but it is tight. As for all his accessories all fit on him pretty well, though it does seem like the glove hands are a little loose and they pop off pretty easily, especially when you're putting them in the wand into his hands. They seem to want to pop off as you try to put it on. But once you got it in his hands and you got him on, it sits fine. I don't have any issues with that. I love the PKE meter. I think it's excellent. It definitely captures the whole look from the actual animated series. And I like his overall look. As for the ghost here, I do like how he looks, but I think he's a mismatch for this figure. Just because of the factor with the trap, it shows the gangster ghost being sucked into it. So if you're going to show that ghost being sucked into the trap, I think that should have been the ghost that came with him as the small ghost. So now we get into the Boogieman. I love this figure. Okay, he looks great. All his joints work very well. I love the stand that comes with him. It works very well with him. Everything swaps out pretty good, except for the issue that I have with the alternate head. And that just looks like that was a manufacturer error. I'm hoping when I get a hold of Mondo, they will fix that. I will do a follow-up video whether or not they do fix the issue. Or if they do give me an alternate head, we'll see how well it works with this figure. So, you know, that's the only real issue I have with this figure. So, would I recommend this? Absolutely. I think this is a great set. All right. I really do. Other than the, issues here, which I don't believe to be an issue with this set, I just think it is a manufacturer issue. And I feel like they fixed a couple issues that I had with the Peter one. Like the pack fits on a little bit better. Those little side clips fit a little bit better on him. And the wand fits a little bit better on the Proton pack as well. I am still a little bit nervous about this cord for the trap. I do feel like, at some point in time that might wind up breaking off. So we'll see how all that works with him in time. But overall, I love this set. I think this set is great, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who was able to get this. So with that being said, first thing I want to do is thank the people over at the Reddit group, Geeks, Action Figure Geeks, for their support of this channel. Their links are in the description. And I also want to give a shout out to Byron Basson and his alternate ego, Humongous, for everything that they do, as well as this channel. And the links for his channel is also in the description. Plus, I want to remind you that I do have a membership program, and check out my Ghostbusters playlist. Plus, hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So, until the next one, late.